the bullets and the punches and the riots have been flowing in only one direction for too long.
I've been trying to tell you guys this whole time how corrupt all of these things were, and here we are.
It is not our responsibility to fix something they spent years intentionally trying to destroy. Unity can only happen in a country when you have a people who agree on what the outcome should be. Well, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Man, that was probably the smoothest entry we've had to date.
We're getting used to it.
We're getting better at this, folks. Nom's got a whole new setup over there.
More coming. I'm mid-transition.
I don't have my trim finished.
Mrs. Nom kicked me out of the main area where my office was, and now I have in my office and the podcast room are the exact same place now. So now I get a whole room all to myself, a whole bedroom.
Is Mrs. Nom getting annoyed with you yelling at people on the podcast? And
we do not have Patriot Dad's audio.
What do you mean?
Do you guys hear him?
I
you guys hear me?
him.
She can hear me. You can't hear me? Uh-oh. Did we lose Nom? SK, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
You can see? Yeah. Uh-oh. Did we lose NomDePlume?
Nom's muted.
Oh no. Nom, you're muted. All right. Well, let's go. Hopefully we can get this figured out. Can you guys over in the chat hear us? I see you over there on YouTube. I see you on Rumble. I see you on X. Nom, you good?
I got you now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I hear you
Very
now.
good. All right. Well, see, it wasn't me that had tech problems this time. It was Nom, who's the tech genius. So I don't feel so bad. Guys, I have some pretty cool updates coming. I'd love to hear from some of you guys in the comments. I'm thinking about bringing a producer on, someone that can run the buttons and push all the things and queue up all the stuff. But Patriot Lad, my 14-year-old son, is starting to kind of get into this stuff, and he volunteered himself. So I think one of these days here very soon, we're going to get him trained on how to do this so that I don't have to try to talk and push buttons at the same time, and can actually look at the camera more often instead of looking down here at all the gadgets and gizmos and buttons and stuff. So we may have a Patriot Lad producer coming soon.
Well, I was going to have a co-host join me for the first few minutes today, but she decided she doesn't want to, and she's now on the floor at my feet.
I suspect she will be back.
He had her before we started. It was the cutest thing ever. I was like, you have to keep her up here.
Yeah, she's like I said, she's the baby. That's Fifi. She's the youngest of the pug grumble, and she's a little squirrely. She's still a bit of a puppy.
Yep. All right, folks, we've got actually, I think this is going to be a fun show. I think the last show we did was by far my favorite, but I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. Did you guys see what I titled this?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Yeah, I know Patriot Mom's sitting over there listening, and she's probably going to be mad at me when I say this, but we titled this the Shutdown Shit Show and the Lies They Tell. Because I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but there's an awful lot of lies going on out there.
Lots of lies.
I'm not sure that I've heard a Democrat say an honest word, frankly, in months, but today and yesterday have been exceptionally bad. Exceptionally bad.
And it's not just that they're lying. It's like, these are some of the boldest lies I think I've ever heard these people tell. Like, they don't even care anymore. They couldn't care less that we know that they are flat out lying to our faces at this point. Flat out lying.
Yeah.
And I think we know why. I think now we know. SK found a video like right within the last second before we were getting ready to go live tonight. And I think we need to actually start with that, because for the life of me, I couldn't figure out, like, why are these people doing this? I get it. Obamacare is getting ready to collapse. They're worried about that. I understand. They have $1.5 trillion that they think is necessary to spend on illegal immigrant healthcare benefits. They want to fund, weird gender studies in Uganda and all that kind of stuff. I get that, but that didn't make any sense. Like, why are you willing to hurt people to keep a government shut down? And I think now we might know why. SK, what did you find while I pull this up?
I found on X Aladdin. I don't know if you guys follow him or not, but his I can't remember his exact username, but he posted a video of a Zoom call with the No Kings, and it's somebody from Public Citizen that is talking to them, and she's talking about keeping the government shut down and make sure you contact your senators. There's a number you can text and it redirects you. They direct you directly to your senator so you can text them and email them and call them and let them know that you want the government to keep staying shut down until they get what they want. And this is indivisible. And yeah, so it says tell Schumer and not to cave again back in March, and then it goes on. But yeah, this is that was from September 7th, but they're encouraging people to contact their senators and keep the government shut down. Don't cave.
So they are boldly the people. Let's reframe this. So the people who spent $300 million on a failed, just disastrous color revolution last weekend didn't get what they wanted out of it. So now they are taking the next step and effectively telling the Democrats that you better not surrender. You damn well better keep this government shut down.
That's what it appears. I don't know when the video was exactly taken, but they give a number and everything where you can, and if you want to watch the whole video again, go to Aladdin's X account.
Oh, we're going to pull it up here in a second. No, I mean, look like you're getting ready to say something. Then it will show
I
up.
did. No, I did. I don't know if you, because I didn't send it to you. I don't know if you got the video of the number 2 in the House, the Democrat side, the whip, the minority whip, something Carter, where she basically said that SNAP and food stamp beneficiaries, you're our leverage. We're going to use you. You're a tool.
That's right.
You're the tool.
And Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma posted on X this morning saying that they're getting a lot of pressure to break the filibuster. So like to not have to have 60 votes to pass the resolution. And he said that behind the scenes, the Democrats are coming to them and asking them to do it too, because they don't want to go against Chuck Schumer, but they want to open the government back up.
Well,
And
I think there's probably more to that than that.
Well, yeah. And he said in that deal that, we're not going to do that because it goes both ways. And for a continuing resolution, you have to have 60 votes.
That's right. I think there's actually more to that story. I think the Democrats have wanted to break the filibuster, but have been a little bit hesitant to do so because they didn't want to be stuck with the moniker of the ones who broke the filibuster. I think what you're hearing is you're seeing Democrats who are saying, go ahead, break it. We're okay with it. You might as well go ahead and do it. I think the Democrats are goading them into doing it. And quite honestly, maybe they should. Maybe they should. All right, let's do this. So let's go to the video that SK just found. This is another leaked Zoom call from the folks who organized the color revolution, the one that failed miserably and Harry Sisson got poop on his head. This is them encouraging their color revolutionary army to demand that the Democrats continue the government shutdown. You guys got to hear this.
So we have had numerous votes in the Senate on the House passed continuing resolution, which is a bill that would open the government without improving our health care. And in these votes so far, we've lost only a few Democrats. So thus far, we are doing really well and they are holding the line. But things are going to get harder as the shutdown continues. So our outside pressure is essential to keep the Dem caucus together and to provide accountability if they start to waver, if they don't stay tough. Again, they only need 7 and this is over. So we all need to do anything we can and everything we can to ensure we win something from this moment, both on our healthcare and on guardrails against future illegal cuts. So, as Ash said, there are things we can do to impact all of this, and we have 2 calls to action. There's a simple thing you can do right now, and there is an easy action for you to sign up to take. First, in the next 24 hours, call your senator's office and leave a message telling them that they should restore healthcare to millions of people and thanking the Democrats for standing strong on the shutdown so far.
Restore healthcare to millions of people. Folks,
before you get too far into that, because there was something really super key in there that I don't know a lot of people caught. And it's the messaging and narrative warfare aspect of what they're doing. Did you hear what she said? And put guardrails in place to prevent future illegal cuts.
Yeah.
Illegal. What's illegal about any of the cuts that were made from the Big Beautiful Bill?
Nothing. Congress approves all. They hold the purse. They allocate the funds. They can do what they want.
Yeah, I mean they can. In fact, I mean when they passed that law and then the president signed it, or sorry, passed that bill and then the president signed it, it actually became law, which means that is legal.
That's right. But the point there is that they're trying to drive home the cultural norm that it is illegal to take
Yes.
benefits away from people who are here illegally.
Right.
That's what they're trying to do, because that's the crux of what the One Big Beautiful Bill did. It basically cut off funding to these illegal immigrants who are here illegally.
Well, it's actually bigger than just funding for illegal immigrants, because if you kind of, again, you zoom out to maybe, about 15,000, 20,000 feet here, you don't have to go all the way to 30,000 feet. It's essentially what we have learned from every Democrat everywhere since President Trump put his hand on the Bible, swore his oath, was that anything that they don't agree with is now illegal in their minds. It's illegal. In fact, it's a violation of the Constitution. It's so illegal. Every single one of everything that he wants to do is illegal.
The Constitution that they want to change, by the way. And fun fact, that lady that was just on the screen, her organization's called Public Citizen, and it's funded by George Soros Open Society Foundation.
No.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Everybody understand. Hold on. Everybody understand, right? When they talk about preserving and protecting democracy, and then they use the narrative warfare that tries to tell you that anything they don't agree with is illegal, that's what they mean by democracy. Is that they are at the top of the hierarchy, and if they don't like it, it's illegal, and that's their democracy.
That's right. So over in the comments, Denise Grimmy Coda, I think, had a really great point, and we're going to get to this topic here in a little bit because I love to see this. She said, as someone who gets food stamps, I can tighten the belt rather than us funding non-citizens. Like, that is what the spirit of a patriot should sound like. And man, we've got some videos coming up a little bit later that paint a very different picture of how some people are handling this situation. But Nom brought up a video of the second in command of House Democrats, the House Whip, who said the quiet part out loud. I'm starting to get the feeling that these people, these Democrats, are now okay with people knowing that they're the ones who are shutting the government down. It almost feels like they are okay with it because they feel like they have the backing of their billionaire oligarch class, the Soros funding machine, and they're now fine with it. So here is the second in charge of the House telling everybody that they're okay with this. If I can find her. There she is. It's a short video, so pay attention. If we have to play it twice, we will.
Terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
They take that responsibility so seriously that they are willing to cut off EBT and SNAP benefits for people to get their way. That's what she said.
Yeah, for illegals, not for Americans, for illegals. They want to take the eligibility verification out of the process. So they want to be able to give benefits to illegals.
So again, I want to zoom out a little bit more because Patriot Dad, you said something in your last little comment about they feel comfortable having the backing of their billionaire donors, right? So for them to say this, and then what the clips we know that we have coming up, where they're basically putting their SNAP and their food stamp, constituents up on the offering block, they're telling them, we don't actually care because we have the money. In fact, they've showed us over and over and over again that their constituents don't actually pick them. They pick themselves. I mean, when was the last time they had an actual primary? The Democrat voter base actually voted for who they wanted to be their nominee. It's been many, many presidential election cycles.
I think it was 2008 was the last primary, a real primary they held, 2008.
They don't care that their voters are going to get screwed because all they care about is the deep pockets of their oligarchs that are going to help pick who gets to run and who doesn't.
Speaking of oligarchs, don't forget to go out and purchase your Bernie Sanders book because he's now published a book.
Another one.
Yeah, they feel like they have the support of their oligarchs, but there's a dual purpose here of this, is because they know that they have enough useful idiots on their side that will go out and create chaos at the same time. And we're going to talk about that. So I came across a post on X yesterday that had me losing my ever-loving mind. And I don't lose my mind very much because I'm a pretty stable, very sane Patriot Dad who can handle a lot of insanity from people. But this Do you guys want to see? Well, we'll get to that. I got to show you what Kirsten Gillibrand said yesterday. You have to see this. Did you guys see the post that I put out on TikTok yesterday about her? Oh, Lord. You guys have to see this. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that she was willing to just lie to her audience, to the American people, to this extent. So here's Kirsten Gillibrand. If I can see that, I'm going to have to pull this up over here too because it's too small. So bear
Do you
with
want me to read it?
Yeah, if you can, go ahead and read it for me. I can't read it on my screen.
Without key Affordable Care Act tax credits, a person making $65,000 per year in Tompkins County, New York, would pay close to $10,000 per year for health insurance, and that's the cheapest plan available. If Senate Republicans let the tax credits expire, people won't be able to afford health insurance, period. And then it has the annual cost of insurance, and it has $2,337.72 for 2025, and then for 26 it has $9,675.72.
That is the biggest lie I've heard all year. The biggest lie I've heard all year. So I want you guys to hearken back to the video that we just showed that SK found. I think her name was Lisa Gilbert, whatever organization she was with. She talked about how important it is for the Democrats to hold strong, to fight for health care for the American people. And now you have a senator, not just a House member, not just some, legislator in the state of New York. This is a sitting senator of the state of New York posting on X and telling the entire country the biggest lie I've heard through this entire shutdown. Did you guys catch what she did there? She is claiming that people who are affected by the changes in the premiums for Obamacare are going to see their cost go from $3,000 all the way up to $10,000 at the end of this year. That is the biggest lie I've ever heard. So I'm going to pull up for you guys a chart that got one of my videos censored on TikTok today. Like, this chart does such an amazing job of exposing the lie that these Democrats are telling right now, that TikTok was so scared of it that they actually censored the video. And I'll show you how they censored it. Look at this. It's still censored. I'm still waiting for my appeal to go through. Do you see that right there? The community guideline violation. This video was allowed to stay up for about 7 minutes before they took it down because they are absolutely terrified of this chart. Now we're going to walk through this chart because you guys have to understand what it is that they are actually fighting about in the Democrat Party. You have to understand what they are willing to shut the government down over and why they're lying to you about it. This chart right here is the best explanation I have seen to date to explain what the Democrats are shutting the government down over. So it says at the top, almost entire Obamacare premium increase paid for by taxpayers. Okay. So if you guys are watching, listening at home, you want to come back to this because you need to see this graph. You have to understand what they're fighting over. So what this graph is showing you is the price, the overall cost of a plan purchased through the exchange under Obamacare from when it was implemented back in 2013 to date. And you can see that the total cost of a plan has gone from about $4,200 up to about $10,000 just in the last 11 years, 12 years for an Obamacare program that was supposed to bend the cost curve down. Does that look like a cost curve that's been bent down at all?
No, it does not.
No, it doesn't. Now, you have a couple of different colors. For those of you guys who don't look at bar graphs very often, I want to explain this because this is really important. You actually have 3 different colors coming in here. This is what we call a stacked bar graph. So if you look at 2013, what it shows you is this entire cost, yellow, is what's paid for by the enrollee. So before Obamacare came in, the enrollee or the person who was purchasing the healthcare plan paid the entire cost of the premium. As soon as Obamacare was implemented, it immediately was implemented with subsidies so that the taxpayer picked up a portion of the cost. So starting in 2014, the price of a total plan of Obamacare was broken out like this. The enrollee was paying about 31.6% of the total cost, whereas the taxpayer was paying 68.4%. And if you look at this graph, what you're going to see, the enrollee borne cost is the yellow portion of the bar graph. And you see how that yellow portion is pretty flat year over year over year over year, which means that the enrollee is paying about the same price every single year, but the taxpayer, the dark blue in the stacked bar graph, sees an increase go up every single year. So you as the taxpayer are paying more and more and more for these enrollees to pay basically the same. You are bearing the brunt of the entire increase of Obamacare as these plans get more expensive.
Do you know what I see here? Can I tell you what I see here?
Sure.
So-
I see how Milton Friedman explained how the value of spending money in this, because in 2013, the insurance purchaser is spending all of his money on himself, right? Costs are about $3,000. And then as soon as you get into 2014, 2015, 2016, you see the share of spending other people's money on other people continue to go up and up and up and up. And for those of you that, and maybe Patriot Dad, you could go through the entire thing about what Milton Friedman used to say about how you spend other people's money. But when you're the government and you're spending other people's money on other people, you don't care how much it costs and you don't care the value you get from it or the quality you get from it. Right. Which is precisely what you're watching. Is you're watching those dark blue, the top part of those stacked bar charts, continue to grow nearly exponentially because you're spending other people's money on other people and you don't care how much it costs. And that's the runaway cost. That's where they're coming from.
And I would just like to say, when I see this chart, I see Democrats who say that they don't like big corporations and they don't like corporate welfare and all those things. All I see right here is a bunch of corporate welfare and subsidies, and saying the more people we enroll, the cheaper the insurance will be and everybody will get better deals. And I just see more people enrolling and the price going up and taxpayers paying more and more and more and more. It is literally just corporate welfare. They are paying the corporations.
Yeah, it is it's a massive transfer of wealth from the taxpayer to these hand-selected insurance providers. Hand-selected.
That's right.
Because the winners.
Because Obama and his team literally picked the companies that were going to participate in the exchange. They picked them. Mm-hmm. They chose them, and they said, "We're gonna put you in a position where you can benefit from the least efficient way of spending money in an economy." So what Nom was talking about, Milton Friedman talked about the various ways, the various levels of efficiently spending money in the economy. And I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I think Dan Bongino does a great job of this and other people do. But if you think about it as a consumer, there's multiple different ways that you think about your spending. If you are spending your own money on yourself, you care about both quality and price, right? You care about how much you're paying for something and the quality of that product. So there's some competition there, right? So you may be searching for the thing that has the highest quality but the lowest price, but you're efficiently making that decision. The other way is you spending your money on somebody else. So how does that look like? Well, you spending your money care more about the price of something than you do the quality of something. So your decision to pay for something might be more focused on, well, how much is this actually going to cost me? And sure, I want my family member to have something of decent quality, but I don't really care that they have the best quality. So I'm willing to spend a little bit less on that thing. And then you have what a lot of people experience when you work for a company or a corporation, when you're spending other people's money on you. So if you have a company credit card and you're going out traveling, hitting, vendor shows or whatever, visiting clients or consumers, and you're spending your company's money on you, you care an awful lot about the quality, not so much about the price. So you may be willing to spend more to sleep in a better hotel or eat at a better restaurant or max out the limit that you have per diem to spend because you care more about the quality than you do the price. And then there is the least efficient way of spending money. I'm going to flip this back over to people so you can see me. Then there is the least efficient way of spending money, spending other people's money on other people. They don't care about the price, and they certainly don't care about the quality. So they're willing to spend whatever the heck they want, and they don't care at all about the quality. That is government-run healthcare.
Yep.
Well, when you spend other people's money on other people, the people that you're spending the money on, they're your donors to your campaign. So they actually want a lot of it to come back to them.
That's right. All right. So let's get back to this because I'm only telling you the first part of the story. Now I'm going to lay out for you exactly why the Democrats are fighting so hard to keep the government shut down. It's this light blue section here in the graph. So those of you guys who are not watching this, but you're listening, I'm going to try to describe this for you. So starting in 2021, going 2022, 23, 24, and into 2025. Back during the Inflation Reduction Act, the Otto Penn administration included as part of that legislation that no Republican voted for. It was entirely passed by Democrat votes. They didn't care about Republicans. They passed it only with Democrats. They did a couple of really important things in that legislation. Destructive things. First of all, they changed the income limits for eligibility or for qualification for Obamacare subsidies. They basically jacked it up through the roof, and they said that we're going to encourage more people to apply for Obamacare by increasing the income caps significantly. So they opened up the floodgates to bring people in. And then the next thing they did is they tossed in a ton of government-paid, taxpayer-funded subsidies to reduce the premium that enrollees were paying. So what you're seeing here in this light blue section is now the portion that used to be paid by the enrollee is now paid by the taxpayer. This yellow section in 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 is all the enrollee pays for their Obamacare healthcare plan. So what happened as a result of the Inflation Reduction Act is you as the taxpayer started paying about 91 or 92% of the cost of somebody going out to the exchange and purchasing an Obamacare plan. Whereas it used to be about 80%, now we're paying about 92%. While the overall cost of the plan continued to rise year after year after year after year, the amount that the enrollee paid stayed flat at about 7 or 8, maybe 9% of that total price. What the Democrats are fighting over right now and are shutting the government down and are harming as many people as possible is not the threat that the enrollee is going to pay the full cost of the healthcare plan. It's that they're going to have to start paying the light blue section again. It's the threat that when these credits or subsidies, because anytime you hear a Democrat say that it's a credit, really it's the taxpayer paying it for you. The threat of the expiration of these subsidies is not going to put the healthcare or the Obamacare enrollee in the position of paying the entire cost. They're just going to have to start paying what they paid back in 2020. That's what they shut the government down for. So when Kirsten Gillibrand posts this post, and she says that in 2025, the enrollee was paying a little more than $2,000 for their plan, and in 2026, they're going to pay almost $10,000. That's a lie. That is a flat out lie.
So the real number in 2026 was the enrollee will be paying about the 2,600 number, whereas they've been paying, half of that, less than half of that,
1,200. Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
So here's the thing, right? So bring it back to us. Here's the thing. This is a good story. Here's the thing. Number one, Kirsten Gillibrand didn't write that tweet. She had no idea what it said before it went out. Number two, she didn't know it's a lie either, because she's a moron.
True.
All of them are stupid. Every one of them are stupid. Most of the people who vote on these bills have no clue what's in them. They don't even understand the math behind them. I can guarantee you she's one of them. She has no idea. In fact, her staffer who wrote that has no idea it's a lie. That was handed to her by somebody who works for somebody above them in the food chain. And that somebody who works above them was told to pass this out from the insurance company so we can continue to get more of your taxpayer dollars sent to us.
That's right.
That's how this works.
All right, we're going to close this out, and then we've got some fun videos and stuff to show you as we drag some people and point out what's really happening out there on the street. But I want to close this out, and I want to drive this home because it is so important for everybody to understand that the Democrat Party shut the government down. And now you have the organizers of the $300 million failed color revolution protest this past Saturday are demanding they keep the government shut down for this light blue section in the graph right there. It's to make sure that enrollees don't have to start paying again what they were paying back in 2020, but are allowed to continue to get their health insurance for a fraction of what they were paying before. But you, the taxpayer, many of you like me are, and Nom and SK and half the people, 95% of the people over in the comments on Rumble and on YouTube and over on X are already paying for your own healthcare plan. Most of you through employer sponsored plans that have seen your premiums go through the roof because of this ridiculous Obamacare nightmare in the first place.
Yes. And you didn't get to keep your doctor. But also, can somebody tell me where you can find a health insurance plan for $2,000 a year?
Well, you can't. You can only find it for 10,000. But if you're lucky enough and you're, able to qualify under Joe Biden's now expiring expanded qualifications, it doesn't matter what it costs because the Democrats are willing to shut the government down to make sure you only pay a fraction of it anyway.
Yeah, I hate them.
It's
They're all stupid.
infuriating. It's
Folks,
so infuriating.
We warned you, maybe not us and this podcast, but when they were planning Obamacare a decade and a half ago, this is the exact conversation that we were having, and everybody told us that we were full of crap.
If you know me in real life, you know that I warned you because Halloween in 2011, I wore my regular clothes to a Halloween party and I put a sign around my neck that said bad idea. And when people asked me what it was, I said Obamacare.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea. I'm going to hit this until I'm blue in the face. They have shut the government down, and the color revolutionists are trying to keep it shut down for the light blue section in that graph. That's it.
It was 2010, not 2011. My bad.
That's it. Unfreaking believable. So, Kirsten Gillibrand, you're a liar. Whoever it was that wrote that tweet lied.
Yeah.
It wasn't an accident. It was intentional. It was intentional to take the 2025 premium borne by the enrollee and compare it to the overall cost of the plan, most of that borne by the taxpayer in 2026. They did it on purpose.
Very good segment. Nicely done.
Just going to let that settle for a second.
That's a lot.
Marinade.
That's a lot. I hope everybody sees this. You're going to have to clip this.
Oh, I did a video on it today.
Well, I saw that, but they took it down. So you're going to have to clip it and post it on YouTube.
Well, it's over on Instagram. Instagram let it go.
Did you put it on X?
I did, but somehow it got tucked away in the replies section. So I'm going to delete it and put it back up again. This is the most important issue for you to talk about during this shutdown, is how bad these people are lying simply because they feel like they can. They feel like they can. And because they want to stir people up. Have you guys seen these videos flying around all the social media platforms of these people that are saying that they are going to basically start robbing people in the parking lots and robbing convenience stores and grocery stores if they don't get their EBT?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even. Okay. First of all, the eligibility for EBT, if you qualify and you're eligible for EBT, nothing changes. You still get your EBT.
Well, not necessarily, because there's no funding for it right now.
Not in the government shutdown.
Right. I'm not talking about the shutdown, though. I'm talking about that eligibility. They're fighting to take that eligibility out for all the benefits. The eligibility verification. What the people
who are threatening to rob people and stores are upset about is because states a few days ago started getting letters from the federal government saying until the government opens back up, there ain't no money coming your way to pay for these SNAP benefits. So the
So
Trump
what-
administration was smart enough to start using tariff funds to fund things like WIC and to start using some really intelligent financing and access to different money over in the Department of War to pay for the military. But there isn't any money for SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
Because they have the government shut down.
Yeah, so all of those people, the videos we're getting ready to watch, the reason why they were able to go this long in a government shutdown, they could thank President Trump for having SNAP and food stamps and WIC and all of that stuff up until now. But the money's going, it's gone. It's been spent. It's been handed out and given away. It's been spent. It's not there anymore, and the Democrats are keeping it closed for that mess that we just watched.
Hey, quick question for those of you guys in the comments. I'd love to get your feedback on this because we're still learning to try to hone in and dial in what we do. We've done some videos where it's basically just us talking, which I think are fun and good. And we've done other videos where it is very heavy content on clips and pictures and stuff like that. Which do you prefer? Because we can do both. So I think tonight is going to be probably a little bit of both. A lot of talking and a whole lot of fun videos too. Are you guys okay with that? Are you okay with us using clips that we snag?
And the fun videos tonight are fun. They're
They are
funny.
fun. All right. We're going to jump into, I'm sure some of you guys who spend any amount of time on social media have seen at least some of these, but I have to say, for a little while, I was starting to kind of come around to like, I kind of feel bad for people because, they rely on EBT, they rely on SNAP benefits, and there's Thanksgiving and stuff coming. And, we want to make sure people are able to put food on the table. And then after watching these, no, I don't care anymore. I'm sorry. I don't care at all. I want WIC benefits paid, and I'm glad the Trump administration is able to do that. But some of the EBT gang out there, the way that they are now talking to the American people, like if they don't get what is owed to them, they're going to start robbing people. Unacceptable. Shut the program down, kick them out of the program, get a job. That's my view. And I could be wrong. But after you listen to a few of these, maybe you'll agree with me. Let's start here. This one is disgusting. Pardon the language, by the way.
Orange man J. Trump. I'm going to tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean?
Hey, hold on. If you have young kids around, plug your ears.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to either get the kids out of the room. And it's not because of language that I'm using, but it's because the heathens can't help themselves. And the language that they're using is off the chart. So time's up. Here we go.
Who ain't getting that goddamn food stamps in goddamn November? Because I'm getting my goddamn shit. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Because I'm going to tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries. Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to...
Yep, we see it.
So many things. Can I start, please?
Yes. I talked a lot. It's your turn.
She is holding steel-toed boots.
She won't go to work.
No, put them on and your helmet and go get a job. Listen, I know there's people on food stamps and EBT and WIC that have jobs, but maybe she needs a second job with her steel-toed boots. I get it. I understand that. And number two, she's 250 pounds off the taxpayers' dime.
Yeah.
What is she getting?
A lot.
My pantry doesn't look like that shit at all.
A lot. Well, that's because the government's not paying you to eat whatever the heck you want.
And then paying for your healthcare when you have healthcare problems because you're eating a bunch of junk.
And then paying
You
your
see
light
the-
bill to keep your refrigerator on. Jesus.
Do you see the death cult mentality here? Let's
Yeah.
pump these people full of taxpayer cash. Let them go out and spend it on nothing but life-ending crappy food. And then we'll put them into our healthcare system. We'll make the taxpayers pay 92% of the total premium while the premium goes through the roof. And we'll shut the government down if you dare to ask them to pay a little bit more. What they were paying just 4 years ago. Like, that's what a death cult does. That's how death cult people.
I just heard like 5 different corporate welfare handouts in that supply chain from funded by taxpayers.
Yep.
Like 5 different ones.
Yep. All funded.
All the processed food giants, all of it.
All of it. All right. Here's another one. This one's not as bad, but still, earmuffs. Get your kids out of the room. You should probably just keep them out of the room for this segment. Bring them back here in a little bit. Here we go. Here's another one for you.
All I know is if I don't receive my benefits this month, the food stamps, I feel bad for the motherfucking shop, right? I will just be rolling my cart out that bitch like I paid for it. But I guess the card just didn't work this month. It'll work next month. I owe y'all now, I guess, because I'm going to be eating Thanksgiving. Fuck you talking about? I'm eating for Thanksgiving. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. And I'm having turkey, ham, all the good shit. Fuck that shit.
Wait, turkey and ham is the good stuff?
That's not even the fun stuff on
No.
Thanksgiving. I mean,
Mm-mm.
look, go get yourself a whole can of stuffing, eat that, and you won't be hungry anymore. That's all you got to do. And you can do that for a couple
gravy,
bucks.
Stuffing
gravy,
doesn't come in a
potatoes, some corn.
can.
You know, like a can, like a little can of the stovetop stuff. Yeah, it comes in a can. It's not like a metal can. It's like a cardboard can or a box or whatever.
That's a box, but
Bread,
also
get yourself some breadcrumbs in a can.
I don't
folks.
make it out of a box. I make it from
Of course
scratch.
you don't. We don't either. But nonetheless, if you're on EBT, you should have to buy the breadcrumbs out of a can. That should be what you have to buy. Bottom line is
so much entitlement.
Not only
You're
that,
owed.
Not only is it entitlement, but that dude will be the first one to run to his TikTok account and make a video about how inflation is out of control and Donald Trump's not doing anything to bring down the price of groceries while he's out threatening to rob grocery stores, which directly affects the price of groceries.
I beg to differ. I am willing to bet good money that he does not have regular conversations about the economy or inflation. I'm just gonna guess.
Definitely. You know what? I bet he has.
I'm just gonna guess.
I bet he has a degree in economics.
It's not that he cares. It's that he's told he needs to be upset about it. So he makes the video about grocery prices because somebody told him that he's supposed to be mad about it, despite the fact that one of the reasons why grocery prices are going up is because he keeps robbing stores. It's insane. I got one more. Actually, I have two more. These people are out of control. All right, let's pull up the next one. And I actually have like compilation that I may get to. I don't know. We'll see if we can get to it or not. But this one, the entitlement is off the charts.
I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me feed my fucking kids. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this fucking time. Now y'all wanna tap out. Get the fuck out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a fucking boss. What the fuck I look like working when the government is here to help? Come on. Y'all send all that money to Iraq, Ukraine. Y'all funding all these wars. But when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to fucking help us? I need my fucking EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my fucking EBT. Stop fucking playing with me, yo.
Now, if I heard this video in an isolated way, I would listen to this and be like, there ain't no way this guy's being serious. This has to be a parody. It has to be.
He had my heartstrings at the beginning where he said, you know, I was getting $745 a month and I feed my 2 kids. And, you know, he had the heartstrings and then it just dropped off the planet into total insanity.
No. And absolutely freaking furious. I'm well, number one, I wait to pay my taxes until October 15th on purpose every single year because there's not a chance that the government is getting it before that because I'm not giving them a dime to use interest-free, period. So I just wrote a check to pay taxes, and that guy pisses me off and makes me want to not pay taxes. And I'll tell you why. Because he just said, I don't work for anybody. I'm a boss. Well, you're a shitty boss because you're getting EBT and you apparently have your own business. Like, make that make sense. I'm a boss. I don't work for anybody. Clearly not a very good one.
That's not the kind of boss he was talking about. He's not a boss. He just doesn't work. Now, hold on, SK. Now, hold on. He doesn't work. You work for him, is what he was saying.
No,
he is your boss. He is your boss.
He is your boss.
They're gonna mess around and they're gonna piss the actual taxpayers off, and they're not gonna have anything because all the actual taxpayers will quit paying taxes.
I made a video the other day saying that I think the government shutdown is going to come to an end this week or early next week, and made a prediction. And now I want to change my mind, and I want to say keep it shut down so these people don't get another dime of EBT money. If you were to come and say, you know what, taxpayer, we are so thankful that you are willing to help, that you're willing to pay a little bit of extra more in taxes so that we can help our hungry kids. That to me is a different message than damn you, you pay me because I deserve it.
Yes. And on top of that, if you're somebody who has extra, donate to your local food pantry. Take food to your local food pantry. I don't even feel like it's the federal government's job to take care of the people that need help and that have children. And, whether they have a job or don't have a job, it's our job, the state's job, the citizens of the state. It's our job to be helping the people that need help. I don't think it's the federal government's job. So if you have extra and you're somebody that's extra blessed, go donate to your local food pantry. Drop some food off at your local food pantry. If you're somebody that is in need and you aren't getting your food stamps because of the shutdown, go to your local food pantry and get some help. Go to your local church. There are people in your community that will help you.
Yeah. So I would just like to add very quickly that if the guy could go and get a job, right, and be able to pay for his own food for him and his kids, because he essentially said that he has no interest in doing that. But if he were to, everything else he said after that, he's actually MAGA because he's big mad about sending all kinds of trillions of dollars overseas to endless wars. While I guarantee you, he was probably had on TikTok complaining about trying to shut down things like USAID and shrink the government so that we do have the money to do the types of things that he's demanding we do to him. I would just like a little bit of gratitude. Oh, and by the way, you might be MAGA if you would just get up and get a fucking job.
Amen. Hey, did you guys see this? Did you guys see Liz Warren the other day? Did you see what she said over on her X account? She posted this. Oh, that's not Liz. Never mind. This is Barbara Comstock, but I have Liz Warren, which I'll show in a second too. This is such a gut punch to see our history destroyed by one man's vanity and ego. Reposting Ron Smith. It's day 3 of demolition at the White House. The East Wing as we know it is gone. How is this even legal? They are so spitting mad right now that Donald Trump is doing the exact same thing that just about every president before him has done to the White House. They are angry, very, very angry about this. And yeah, by the way, we're switching gears.
Yeah.
Angry, very angry.
So on the outline, there is a pick 4. I would like for you to hold off on the pick 4 because I want to shock the entire world with what's actually happening. So hold off on pick 4.
That was pick 4. So I'll find which one you're talking about.
Oh, I mean the one right above it, the aerial photo.
Oh, okay.
So hold on to that one because we're gonna tee this little topic up and we're gonna go on a little rant about it, and then I'm gonna show you what they're really, really mad about because it's quite fun. Not yet.
Oh, wait. What? So what? Wait, I thought you were going to tee it up.
I did too.
I was waiting for you to tee it up.
Well, there's a whole lot more. There's Dollar Store Obama. There's Trump plans, all this stuff.
Do we want to hear Dollar Store Obama? You guys want to hear Dollar Store
Alibaba Obama.
All right. Alibaba, Dollar Store Obama is really upset that Donald Trump is adding a ballroom to the White House. Very, very mad.
Once again, preparing to fly out of the country. The East Wing of the White House is being demolished so that Donald Trump can construct a ballroom where he will be celebrated like a king. And at the same time, Trump is trying to rob taxpayers of $230 million to continue to line his pockets. And yet Republicans have zero interest, none, in addressing the healthcare crisis that they've created, is devastating people all across the country.
Such a liar. Such an unmitigated, disgusting liar.
If you weren't someone who paid attention to politics and news as much as we did, you might think that Hakeem Jeffries was saying that that ballroom was going to cost the taxpayer $230 million. That's what he was trying to say, or that's what he was trying to make you believe. But what he did there intentionally was conflate the fact that the ballroom's being paid entirely by private capital. Donald Trump himself is donating $24.5 million to it. The rest of it's being raised by private donors. And he wanted to conflate that with the fact that President Trump has an active lawsuit against the United States federal government in the amount of $230 million for all of the fraudulent insurrectionist coup and lawfare cases that he had to defend himself, his family, and the Trump organization at a bill of over $400 million it costs him to defend himself from people just like him. So yeah, he has an active lawsuit against the government because they violated his constitutional and his civil rights. They did over and over and over again for 10 years.
Repeatedly, over and over and over again.
By design, like they planned it. It wasn't just an accident. They didn't stumble into violating his constitutional rights.
Side note, I do want to say I think it's highly ironic that what's his face filed to have his case dismissed based on selective and vindictive prosecution when that's exactly what they did to Donald Trump. And when he filed that, they were like, yeah, no.
Yeah. No. Who was it? Comey? Is that who you're talking about, Comey?
Yes, he filed for to have it dismissed for selective and vindictive prosecution.
Well, the sad thing is the judge might actually do it. That's the problem, is we have judges that are going to bend over backwards to try to get these people off. It's going to happen.
I mean, we could do a whole segment on James Comey and the fact
and we
that
will.
Yeah, we will. And so fine. We can move
Sorry,
on. He's a piece of shit.
Derail. I just think it's funny.
He's a piece of shit. What they did to Mike Flynn, I don't actually care what James Comey thinks.
No, they can put him underneath the new extension of the White House if they want. They can put him under the ballroom for as far as I care.
Put him right underneath that.
Speaking of which, did you guys know that it is a moral crime against humanity to change the White House? Did you know that? Did you know that the White House is such a protected historical landmark that it is beyond the pale to make any changes to the White House, despite the fact that the White House has literally been changed just about every 4 years since its creation? Like about every president has done this.
And a dozen, at least, significant remodels and refurbishes and additions and extensions put onto that building.
That's right.
And can we just appreciate the fact here for 1 second that Donald Trump is actually leaving something for the American people and behind at the White House with this ballroom that he's paying for, and the other rest is private capital. And on the other hand, remember when Bill and Hillary Clinton left office and they were moving out? Didn't
took
they
everything.
like take furniture and like historical artifacts with them? Where were
That's
the
right.
Democrats on that?
Oh, they were
No.
okay with it. So the Clintons take things from the White House. Obama built a NBA regulation-sized basketball court at the White House so that he could invite his buddies, LeBron James and Kevin Durant and all these guys to come play basketball with him. And when he did that, he was celebrated as bringing culture to the White House and leaving his stamp on the White House. The Obama legacy was left in the grounds of the White House with a basketball court. And Donald Trump is planning to bring this to the White House, and they are angry. They're angry. They're upset at a beautiful, glorious, magnificent ballroom. Because do you know what happens right now when they do like state dinners at the White House? Do you guys know where they do those? They have to pitch a freaking tent outside.
And women in heels are having to walk through mud if it's rained, and it's a nightmare.
Yep.
Nom, is this the one that you didn't want me to show?
No, you can show it now because I think
Okay.
we're ready to move on to the next topic. I think.
All
we
right.
need this
So
one
is
up.
it
because at the end of the day,
which one
at
is
the
it?
end of the day, what they are so violently angry about, because I have seen thousands of videos and posts saying that one, this is illegal and it's a vanity project and it's a destruction of a historical monument and historical building, and they're defacing the people's house, all for Trump's enjoyment. Do you know what portion of the East Wing they are replacing? You guys know what it is?
The First Lady's office.
No, it's not
Carport.
even that. It's not even that. It
It's a
literally is only the carport portion. Now, when they rip that off, they're also affecting the facade of the outside. They're not taking the First Lady's office. They're ripping out the carport. A carport that cars drive up on the concrete and they stop underneath an awning so that they don't get rained on. And then they go inside and then the car keeps going. That's what they are cutting off. And then they're going to attach a 90,000 square foot ballroom. They are furious over a carport.
Oh, I had no idea. I really
Yeah.
thought that it was
No.
the First Lady's office.
No, they're
It's
adding
a carport.
ballroom where a carport is. That's what people are upset about.
Wow, that's insane. Where's the basketball court?
The basketball court is over, I think it's right in this area over here. So it's
We
like
can't see
off, so it's kind of right by the West Wing, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
I could be wrong about
Is
that.
it that blue area?
No, I think that's a
Swimming
pool.
pool.
That's a
Oh.
pool. Because
Wait.
yes, somebody put a pool there.
I didn't think they had a pool anymore. I thought they had a pool when JFK was in office because he was doing things he shouldn't have been doing in the pool, like out in the open. But I thought they like filled it in. I didn't know they still had one. Look at me. I had no idea. And
The problem is it changes every 4 years, so there's no way for you to know what's actually there
Right.
anymore unless you go there.
On the
Yeah.
taxpayer's dollar.
Like,
and
did you-
Donald Trump's doing it, paying
That's
for
right.
it.
So one last point on this before we move on, right? So the same people who for the last 10 years went around tearing down every statue and monument that they didn't like to look at because, history only matters when they care about it. They tore down, I don't know, half a dozen, maybe more Christopher Columbus statues, Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, Francis Scott Key, George Washington, Ulysses S. Grant. I could go on and on and on and on. And they are big, huge mad that a fucking carport, is
You
being torn off.
heathen. Your brother called you a heathen.
I don't. I'm
No, I
pretty
called
mad
him
about that.
savage. I told you from day one that he's a savage version of Patriot Dad, and he's so much smarter than me, which is even better.
No bullshit.
All right, so let's move on. Can we talk about what is still my favorite story of the disastrous $300 million color revolutionary fail? Can we talk about how Harry Sisson is still the topic of conversation out of that? Can you imagine spending $300 million and the only thing you walk away with is Harry Sisson being super angry about being pooped on? Like that is the only thing they took away from that $300 million disaster is Harry Sisson acting like a child day after day after day after day. Did you guys hear that he threatened to sue the White House?
He sent a cease and desist letter to the freaking White House. The White House, who has the entire DOJ, the entire Department of Justice.
Yeah, here it is. So Bad Hombre, over on X says, a source close to the matter tells me that an attorney for paid DNC propagandist Harry Sisson sent a cease and desist letter to the White House earlier today, threatening legal advice or legal action if an AI meme depicting him getting doused with fecal matter isn't taken down. Sisson claims he felt deeply humiliated. Yeah, he was humiliated by the meme and that his likeness was used without his permission. Trump completely broke him.
Suck it up, Harry.
Suck it up, Harry. But then there was another one.
Just suck it, Harry.
There was
Suck
another one. Here's another one. So there was another post that came out, and this one is even better.
That one's my
This one's even
favorite.
better. It actually shows you. SK, can you read that? It's too
Yeah,
small.
it says
starting down at the Harry part.
Oh, it says Harry allegedly states he, quote, is not coming out end quote, until the White House is restored to, quote, how George Washington left it. Handwriting experts are split on what he means by he is not coming out. Some say it refers to, quote, the closet or possibly his mom's basement. Thoughts? And then it's a handwritten note like in crayon. This isn't real, by the way. It's a joke, but still, it's hilarious.
The fact that you had to say that this isn't real because
It very well could be.
Well,
Well,
no.
I don't want to cease and desist. I mean, I don't care. I'll fight myself in
You can
court.
wipe your rear end with the cease and desist stuff.
Right.
That's public use right there. Sorry, dude.
Dude threatened to sue the White House. Like I don't.
Yep.
But that's what that came out of the color revolutionary failed $300 million price tag disaster this weekend.
That's not all that came out of it.
Oh no. Do you want to go to the Harry getting dragged all over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Folks, we got to show you this. I know that some of you are probably like, can you please stop talking about this beta child kid? No, we can't.
No, because every Democrat on TikTok goes and watches his lives and listens to every word that he says, and then they repeat the same arguments and the same talking points, and they are so easily proven wrong, and they just continue to repeat it even after you prove them wrong. They don't stop.
Hey, real quick. Yes, we can see your comments, by the way. And you were right. Francis Scott Key, the writer of our national anthem. Yes, that they tore that monument down.
Of course they did. They tore all of them down because they're anarchist communists who are trying to destroy the United States. That's the bottom line. But the dragging of Harry did not stop with just a couple of fun X posts and a video of poop being dropped on his head. He went on the Piers Morgan show, and he's a guest on there fairly regularly for some reason. I don't know why they bring him on, except maybe to have someone to make fun of, but they did. So this is a quick clip of Harry saying some of the dumbest things that you'll hear and getting absolutely destroyed by the panel. Just getting obliterated.
In a shower yet to get the president's mud and goo off of you?
I don't have you
Your
crawled
hair
out of
looks
Donald
nice,
Trump's
so you must have
colon
used
yet?
some conditioner.
I did take a shit. Have you crawled up Donald Trump's colon yet? I know it's hard. It's dark in there with everything you do to suck up to him on a daily basis.
See,
I'm not
again,
sure, have you
Piers,
gotten
like
out
this
there
is
yet
what
or
they
no?
do. It's just constant crudity. And they get so he's so upset
So when you give
President
it to
Trump
me,
responds in
when
kind.
you
No,
give
I
it
wanna
to
make a point
me,
here.
I can't give it back.
Okay, that's
what he no. Wait, hold on. For context, that's the clip that Harry posted on his X thinking that he owned Jack Posobiec.
Yeah, because he didn't want you guys to see this version of the clip because the clip was actually about 10 minutes long. But there's another version of it that's even better. So we'll play the other part of the clip that he didn't want you to see.
And I don't think anybody in this debate can name me a high-ranking elected Democrat who has called Donald Trump Hitler. But can the conservatives on this panel condemn, number one, Donald Trump's nominee, and number two, can they condemn the Youth Republican group chat? And then number three, if they write it off as a joke, then why were they so against people joking about Charlie Kirk? I never joked about Charlie Kirk, but they pick and choose when humor can be applied in politics. And when you're pledging affinity to Hitler, that's a joke, according to many.
Well, I said, look, from my point of view, I said,
By the way, I'd be happy to answer the question about whether or not a high-ranking Democrat has used this rhetoric. Who is Kamala Harris?
I know. I want you to answer all the questions. I want you to answer all the questions.
I have a question for you. Who is Kamala Harris?
Wait. Answer all the questions I just gave you. And can you name me when Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump is Hitler?
Who was
when did Kamala Harris? Great.
Was Kamala Harris last year a high-ranking Democrat when she was?
When did Kamala Harris call Donald Trump Hitler?
October of 2024. Kamala Harris said on the campaign trail, Donald Trump vowed to be a dictator on day one. His former chief of staff said he wanted generals like
that look
Hitler's.
you see on
Donald
Harry's
Trump
face
openly
is
admires
the, oh, crap,
dictators,
they got me
including
look.
Adolf Hitler. Last October, that was said on the campaign trail.
Look at that. That is the look of a 23-year-old that just suffered through getting poop dropped on his head, and he doesn't understand why he's getting
it dropped on his head right
television.
now. Poop
He's getting
on his head right now.
Look at that face. Look at this. All right, we'll keep going.
Rewind that. Just start that. Or we all need to see that again. Look,
his face going backwards was hilarious.
All right, go.
Right here. Okay, right here.
Yeah,
Here we go. Ready?
Harris said on the campaign trail, Donald Trump vowed to be a dictator on day one. His former chief of staff said he wanted generals like Hitler's. Donald Trump openly admires dictators, including Adolf Hitler. Last October, that was said on the campaign trail from the Democrat
Kamala Harris said this during the campaign, during the closing days of the campaign. It was her final campaign pitch. Is that high enough ranking for you? You guys, you supported her for president.
Exactly, because there have been reports
the person that you supported for president is someone.
He just filibusters now because he knows he just got poop dropped on his head.
But-
I'm going to clip that of his head moving like a bobblehead, and I'm going to play with that for a while because that's
You
fun.
should.
Yeah, we need more poop and a sombrero. Poop and sombreros.
We need well, and I mean, if that's what you want, I can give you. I mean, do we need to go? I think we should go back and revisit this. Just why not? What the heck? Playing that until the end of time.
You better be careful. You're going to get a cease and desist from Harry's system.
I have a
is
very
public
good
use
lawyer
now. Public use now.
And it won't be the first one I've received. I can tell you
Speaking
that.
pound sand.
Oh, that's true.
Pound sand. So, did you hear that Jasmine Crockett actually responded to Harry, his challenge? She did. So Jasmine Crockett, one of the most racist members of Congress out of Texas, decided to go ahead and respond to Harry and answer the question. Has anybody high-ranking
I don't
Democrat?
think anybody in this debate can name me a high-ranking elected Democrat who has called Donald Trump Hitler.
I don't even know what to call him. I've called him so many things, but this wannabe Hitler for sure.
So one of two things happened there. Either Harry's dumb and he doesn't know what he's talking about, or two, he just called Jasmine Crockett a nobody in the Democrat Party.
Well,
Both of those can be true at the same time.
That is true.
I just want to say when he says, can you name me a high-ranking Democrat? I just want to say I'll take every high-ranking Democrat for 1,000, Alex.
All of them. Hillary Clinton.
All of them.
Kamala
Every
Harris.
one of them.
Joe Biden.
Harry Sisson himself.
Every day. Harry Sisson himself.
Mm-hmm. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, all of them.
Do you guys see
Dollar
why we do
Store
this?
Obama?
Do you see why we have fun with these people? Because if we don't, we're literally going to go mad. This is the thing this is what makes MAGA different from these people, is that we have an incredible sense of humor. So we can find the joy in the absolute insane, monstrous, authoritarian, totalitarian designs they have on the country. And we beat them just by being funny. Because we're better at this than they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're just unhappy people. So they can't get the joke. Just miserable, low-life human beings.
I mean, he tried to sue the White House, or he threatened to sue the White House. That's what he did.
And you know what Charlie Kirk did, just for the record, when South Park made an entire episode about Charlie Kirk and they were making fun of him, he changed his profile picture to the character.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I were Harry Sisson,
and he
I
even
would-
posted and said, "You did a great job. I loved it."
if I were Harry Sisson, I'd take that photo of the poop sombrero and I'd be wearing that as my profile photo until
No
people got
kidding.
sick of looking at it. That's what I
Exactly.
would do.
Just like JD Vance posted that video of him, all huge, dropping, from the Blackhawk
Yeah,
because he
the
leans
Cabbage
into
Patch.
it.
The Cabbage Patch version of So the problem with Harry is, one, he doesn't have the instincts to do that. Two, he's a miserable human being, and no one told him to do that. Harry does not have a single natural thought.
Instinct. There's
of
no
his own.
instinct.
He doesn't have a thought of his own. He only reads and says things that are handed to him to read.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. Wow, there is so much stuff that we did not get to. Like, we didn't get to the lies they were telling about the Trump administration or Donald Trump commuting Diddy's sentence. Did you guys see that? We'll run through this real quick. So TMZ ran a story saying that, let me throw this up here real quick. We can maybe get through a bunch of this stuff super fast before we wrap. So TMZ ran a story the other day saying that they had an anonymous source inside the Trump administration that Trump was considering commuting the sentence of Diddy. Did you see that? So the Trump administration comes out and says, yeah, that's a lie. That's not happening. So TMZ's response is the White House communication office is saying our story is not true. We stand by our story. So they're like, yeah, the White House told us it's not true, but we don't really care.
TMZ also was seen recorded cheering when Charlie Kirk was killed. And then their owner came out and said, no, we were talking about a car chase, that there was a car accident. And no, I mean, it's TMZ, it's tabloid. Why do we care? It's not even a good one.
But it's a lie. And it's more of the same. So, SK, I know you had a couple things in here that we didn't get to. We didn't get to the radical lunatic teacher out in LA that is now back in the news again, saying that threatening federal agents. We'll probably, maybe we add that to a later one.
Wow.
We didn't get to Abigail Spanberger. Very upset that she even has to respond to the Jay Jones controversy. She's just really, really frustrated. And it shouldn't be her problem. She shouldn't have to answer questions about that.
Jay Jones is in even more trouble. He's now under special counsel investigation. And it wasn't the doing of the sitting attorney general who he's running against. It was a judge in a county. And he's not going to drop out of the race, though, I guarantee you.
No, of course not. Because he doesn't feel like he has to. Because they don't care about accountability. They care about power. That's what they care about, is power.
That's all they care about.
And the last one I had is not a lie. It is, I talked about this a little bit in the video. You guys saw that John Brennan was formally submitted under a criminal referral from the House Judiciary Committee. Jim Jordan finally got off his butt and did it. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every single one of the people that are currently sitting under indictment right now under the Trump administration all started the same way. They started with criminal referrals. Lisa Cook, the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, who was referred under criminal referral for mortgage fraud, indicted. We got Letitia James, who started the investigation on her under a criminal referral, indicted. Jim Comey was referred to the Department of Justice for lying to Congress and obstruction of Congress. Criminal referral, indicted. We've got more. We've got John Bolton, started with a criminal referral, indicted. We've got Adam Schiff, who is probably going to be the next one indicted. And now we have John Brennan. And John Brennan was indicted not for just a simple, he told a lie.
Is referred, but it hasn't been indicted yet.
Sorry. He was referred for criminal. And I bring that up because the criminal referral is the start of the process that these people are being indicted under. So for all of you out there, and I know there's still a lot of you saying nothing's happening. It's happening. And the timing seems perfect because these indictments are really going to start rolling in fast and furious here right after Christmas.
Yep. And they're placeholders too.
Placeholders. All right, folks. Do you guys got anything else to add before we wrap? Because I don't know if there's much more we can fit into this one.
No, it's a good one. I think I think we covered everything that's going on right now.
We need to remind everybody to go to X and follow the Patriot Source Podcast X account. And please make sure you like the video. And if you watch it in a replay, comment, put replay, write your favorite part. If you have any questions, all that. We also have the Discord. If people want to join the Discord, there's a place where they can put questions or research that they find. You put skdd.lol, like laugh out loud, in your Google search bar, and it should take you to the Discord.
Did you guys see that the views on the Rumble video from episode 17 were just about the same as they were on YouTube last time?
No.
Yeah. I mean, neither of them were like off the charts, which surprised me because that was my favorite episode so far, which is normally the way it works. My favorite videos are the ones that don't really go anywhere.
Same.
That's how it works. But yeah, Rumble kind of picking up the pace a little bit. Folks, if you have not yet subscribed to the Rumble channel, go do it. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, go do it. All of your subscriptions help the algorithm on those platforms. It doesn't cost you a penny.
I hate that they call it subscription because people think they have to pay.
That's right. That's right. All right, folks, we are out. This was fun. The next scheduled event will be next Monday. By the way, we have a solidified schedule. We will be doing Mondays and Wednesdays at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. If there's special topics that come up, we'll sprinkle them in as we go. But the standard schedule for everyone who's waiting, 9:30 Eastern, Monday and Friday. So at this point, we will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
The bullets and the punches and the riots have been flowing in only one direction for too long.
I've been trying to tell you guys this whole time how corrupt all of these things were, and here we are.
It is not our responsibility to fix something they spent years intentionally trying to destroy. Unity can only happen in a country when you have a people who agree on what the outcome should be.